Hey guys, don't forget to hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time I come up with a new video.
Hi guys, what's up? Thank you so much for coming back. I'm Arpita and I welcome you back once again to the Crazy Wisdom. Alright, so today it's again time for the season special video, and as we all know, it is the ongoing season of the Archers of the Group Sagittarians. So let's get down and look at the 12 things that we need to know about a typical Sagittarius, which might just spill all their secrets. So what are we waiting for? Put on your thinking caps and your wisdom boots. Let's get on and shoot. Okay, number one, Sags put up a lot of questions. Now, Sagittarians are very curious beings, and because of the same reason, they need to be really curious about acquiring that knowledge as well. So, any statement that you make in front of a Sagittarius will be backed by a lot of discussions and debates and arguments and counter arguments. Because they need to stock up their data bank for the next philosophical meetup that they sit in. So with a Sagittarius around, questionnaires are a must. Number two, Sagittarians are die-hard preachers. Now, because as we discussed in number one, they have a lot of knowledge, they need to spread that knowledge as well. Now, because we know that Sagittarians rule the 9th house of the horoscope, which is not only the house of acquiring extensive knowledge, but it is also the house that depicts the dissipation of that knowledge across as many sources as possible and to as many people as possible. And even if you ask your Sagittarius friend to take a chill pill for a bit so that you can speak on the topic that you know about, 5 minutes down the line, and they would again take up charge of the topic that you thought you have a command on, and they would tell you 100 different things about that. So, with a Sagittarius, always consider yourself to be around a walking and a talking encyclopedia whose sole purpose would be to fill you up with as much knowledge as they can. Number three, Sagittarians are born lucky and wealthy. Now, deny as much as you want to and argue as much as you want to about this statement, but this stands as a fact. Obviously, this does not mean that angels are upon them, blessing them 24/7, and billions are showering over them 24/7. It just means that Sagittarians are affluent enough and comfortable enough with acquiring money and having that money at the exact time of need. One strong point still stands that they're ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of elixir of life, and it always blesses the person that it has a positive aspect on. But the other strong point that stands here is that when you look at a typical Sagittarius chart, you would see that the two houses in the Sagittarius horoscope, which are the house of wealth, that is the second house and the 10th house, are ruled by Capricorn and Virgo, number 10 and number 6. And this is the reason why they imbibe the strong Capricorn and Virgonian traits of money management. So, a Sagittarius, as much as they seem like that, are not reckless with money. They are excellent money managers. They know how to properly use it, save it, and invest it. And that is the reason why at the time of need, they have enough quantities to show and help others with. And a simple statement follows this thing always that, this person is always lucky with money. They always have it, no matter what. They have really good stars around them. But the fact is that they actually work towards making that money and work towards having that money at the time of need, which automatically makes them lucky. Alright, number four, Sagittarians are known to be commitment-phobic. But that does not mean that they are emotionally unavailable people or they run away from romance and, bonds and things like that. It just means that they take the longest time to come to that point of committing to someone, of promising to someone that they would be there for life. But once they do, they are known to be one of the most strongest people to be in a relationship, and they are rarely seen to be deviating from their duties and responsibilities. So, being commitment phobic for a Sagittarian just means that they cannot decide about a lifetime commitment that easily, but once they do, they're all in for it. Number five, Sagittarians are known to be extremely religious, and they are the ones who are known to be having a very strong belief system in rituals, traditions, and all other such things. This belief system that they have can be either positive or negative depending upon the dignity and the strength of Jupiter in their charts. If it is very negative, they can have the completely wrong set of belief system, and they can have a completely negative and haphazard way of thinking and processing things. But whatever it be it positive or negative, they are very, very strongly cultured and family values and traditions driven, and that is really deep rooted in them. Alright, moving over to number six, Sagittarians really love their friends, social, and network circle. And whatever bonds of friendship and companionship they form, they're formed purely out of love and attachment and a deep connection, and not because of any hidden motive or any hidden intention. And the reason behind this is that when you see a typical Sagittarius horoscope, you would see the 11th house, which is the house of social friends and network circle, is ruled by Libra, which is We know how Librans are. They're full of love and they're full of unconditional commitment to one another. So, that is what they execute out when they interact with their own social circle. And moving over to the next one, Sagittarians are really honest. Now, because they rule the ninth house of the horoscope, which is primarily the house of law, these people are extremely moral, just, and truthful in their dealings. And these people always stand up for what is right, unless, of course, Jupiter is really badly afflicted in their chart. Then they can, go up in the extremely negative direction and the extremely opposite direction and end up supporting completely wrong things and beliefs, as we've discussed before. Normally, Sagittarians are really fair and moral, and normally they do not ever intentionally become unjust with anyone. Moving on to number 8, Sagittarians are very sharp-aimed people. Now, we know the astrological symbol of a Sagittarius is a half man, half centaur sort of a figure with a bow and an arrow in his hand and, pointing upwards. And this clearly indicates how single point focused Sagittarians can be when, a thing of desire walks right in front of their eyes, or, when they have to chase an object or a person or anything else that they really want at that point of time. And I think I've mentioned this before as well, that when a Sagittarius comes out to aim, they become Arjun from Mahabharata, and their object becomes that machli ki aankh. So there is no escaping, and that is the kind of sharp aim that they have. All right, moving over to the next point, Sagittarians can be really boastful. Now again, because Sagittarians are governed by Jupiter, which is one of the most expansive planets out there, these people can become really boastful and in your face and ostentatious about each and everything that they own, achieve, or have. Even the smallest victory that they face or the biggest thing that they acquire, they can be really, really dramatic and over the top about that. And the conversations can go out and out. These are the people who we categorize as the ones जो नमक मिर्च लगा के बात को बहुत बढ़ाते हैं. And this is what happens, and because of this they can many times become really rude and arrogant and harsh with other people, because they can end up demeaning their achievements and their victories. And this brings us to the next point about Sagittarius, that they can be really blunt and rude and arrogant, because there is no facade or veil of thoughts or discussions in front of them, and they speak their mind out, be it in the most harsh or blunt or direct manner. So that sometimes hits the other person really badly, and they can actually get into the light of someone who does not think about what the other person might feel. So that is how they operate, and a person has to be really strong-hearted in order to interact and deal with a Sagittarius, especially when they come down to speaking the truth about something or someone, because they can be really, really direct about it. All right, moving over to the next point, Sagittarians are spontaneous. Now, a Sag typically never plans anything, or they do not think and strategize about how they have to act or react in a given situation or scenario. They usually get an impulse when they see a thing, and then, their emotions drive them. And why not? Because Sagittarius is a typical fire sign, and fire, as we all know, does not sit and think before, it starts to spread. It just runs wild. And that is exactly how a typical Sagittarius behavior is. And moving over to the last point, Sagittarians are travel freaks. Now, they have wanderlust, they have springs in their bodies, they have a travel bug in their head. Call it whatever you want to, but Sagittarians just cannot sit at home. Confinement bores them. No matter what, they just need to be out there and just be there, experience things firsthand. This is their basic desire and this is their basic need. Just like a Gemini needs to gossip and needs to communicate, and a Cancerian needs that sweet smell of home and home life very near to them in order to survive. This is what a Sagittarius needs. And many a times they would want to just go out at very, very long distance journeys and with no plans of coming back anytime soon. So, do not freak out when you see a Sagittarius's passport. That is bound to be the thickest of all. Alright guys, so with this I put a wrap on today's video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a cute thumbs up right underneath it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel in order to remain updated with all the latest news on zodiacs, astrology and motivation. Also, in case of any astrological queries and consultations, you can contact me on my Instagram handle, The Crazy Wisdom, the link to which I'm attaching in the description below, or you can send me the same on my mail ID, the address to which I'm again attaching in the description below. And with this, I'll be meeting you again too soon, but don't forget to be crazy and wise until we meet for the next time. I'll see you guys sooner. Bye-bye.